Have you ever found yourself leaving one unhealthy or toxic relationship and then just really soon finding yourself right back in another? Almost like it's the same energy and the same patterns, just with a new person. And it can start to make you feel really frustrated and hopeless. And it's so easy to get down on yourself when this happens and think that it must be because there's something wrong with you, or your ability to attract healthy people is broken. And it can make you feel really doomed to never be able to have a healthy relationship. Often, sensitive women especially fall into this painful pattern and then think that it means something's inherently wrong with them. But let me tell you from a lot of personal experience that nothing is wrong with you. In my 20s, I found myself really heartbroken and straight up traumatized after getting out of a toxic relationship with a narcissistic man. And I remember confiding in a family member at that time that I felt really stupid and weak for being so kind and trusting and not seeing the red flags earlier. She reassured me that I wasn't weak or stupid, and really just told me that, especially with narcissistic people, they see our light and they want to take advantage of that. But that actually means that we're strong and amazing, because no one would really want to break a weak person. So instead, that makes the powerful point that we are strong and there is nothing wrong with us. Many sensitive women face relationship issues with these narcissistic types, and also with people who don't have these more cruel or difficult intentions, and are more just people who don't know how to have a healthy relationship, or are caught up in their own pain and trauma, and that causes them to behave and treat others in unhealthy or toxic ways. Those experiences are a lot different, but both cause a lot of pain and can make us feel really doomed in love, and even in friendships and family relationships, but especially in love. So many sensitive women deeply crave a healthy, loving partnership because most sensitive people lacked proper attunement and care and healthy relationship and nurturing in childhood. So because that love and connection is a basic human need, of course it makes sense that as sensitive people, we crave a deeply fulfilling, healthy relationship, yet have these patterns that keep us attracting unhealthy ones. So what's the solution? Well, first off, it's about understanding that you're not broken, you're not weak, you're not stupid. There's nothing inherently wrong with you if you're in this pattern. And it's just that what you're up against is really learned patterns that can be changed. So let's talk about this pattern in specific, where it comes from and how to break free from it. Where this pattern comes from is in childhood. Okay, of freaking course it comes from childhood. So yeah, basically in childhood, the majority of sensitive women were not seen or honored or understood, supported, loved in the ways that they needed. And as I discuss in my book, which I'll leave a link to below, sensitive women have either one or both caregivers who are really unpredictable, sometimes really loving and sometimes cruel or critical or otherwise harmful. And it causes our little nervous systems to get used to feeling unsafe in our body, and that being connected to love and relationships, and causes this, what's in clinical terms called coupling. Basically, we start to couple the idea that love equals sacrifice or love equals pain, and that gets wired into our nervous system and our subconscious mind. And this helps us survive and cope in our childhood. But then once we try to venture out into the world, it causes us to stick in these repeated painful patterns of attracting unhealthy, safe people. And actually, it's not that we're attracting those unsafe people, it's that we attract everyone. You beautiful, amazing, sensitive soul. You attract all types of people, but you unconsciously feel attracted to the ones who are unhealthy and toxic because it's what your system and your subconscious learned to feel are normal and what you expect. And this is programming that gets programmed in you, and that can be broken. So, how do you break it? Breaking this pattern takes really addressing those two things that I mentioned. So, rewiring your nervous system first to uncouple the feeling in your body that unsafety is normal and how that actually feels. And then it's rewiring your subconscious mind and rewriting those internal programs. So instead of unconscious beliefs like, I'm not worthy of love, or I'm not capable of healthy love, or love isn't safe, or I have to self-sacrifice in order to get love, or like insert icky belief here, your program, your new beliefs can be things like, I am worthy of healthy love. I don't have to abandon myself or my own needs for secure love. And other insert a new healthy belief here. And it's not done through repeating affirmations in the mirror that you don't even believe. And it does take real work, but that is what I hope to help you with. And before you say, oh my God, that sounds so hard and impossible, let me just take a minute to validate that, like, yes, it sucks. No one should be in the position to have to do this work. You didn't deserve to have to carry this. You didn't deserve the things that happened to you, and nothing you did made you deserve this. And despite of all of that, you are in this position, I assume if you're watching this video, and you can change these things. And like I said, I'm not going to lie to you and be like, oh my God, it's super easy. But it's also not that complicated either. And I know this because I did it for myself. In my 20s, I found myself in these exact patterns and really broke free. So now let me share, how do you actually do this? How do you rewire these things, Monica? So I'm going to break this down into some steps to make it simpler and more manageable when it comes to nervous system reprogramming first. And know that this is not like the end-all be-all directions of the universe. Really listen and trust yourself before anyone else, including me. I just have my own deep experience, and that's where this comes from. So step 1 of rewiring your nervous system is 1, listen to your body's cues. You know that anxiety that hits when you're around someone specific? Well, yeah, to rewire your nervous system, you've got to start listening to that and taking it as a valuable message from your body, which is not what we're taught to do normally. So your anxiety is not something wrong with you that needs to be medicated or pushed away. It's a valuable message or signal that your body is trying to give you. So if you start listening to it and trusting if you feel anxious around someone, even if no one else understands and everyone calls you crazy, it doesn't matter. It's your job to listen and trust yourself. And that alone could be the whole freaking directions right there. But I do have one more very effective step that I want to share. So step 2 is to start making new decisions and soothe yourself through the discomfort. When we have a unhealthy, dysregulated nervous system wiring, it can really feel like we are repeating the same patterns. Even when we know logically that something feels wrong, it's really hard to make new choices because of that programming. But you can make new choices, and that shifts so much. So for example, say you're like just broke up with a toxic ex and they text you out of the blue, eye roll, and right, the pattern is to text them back and get sucked back in. But you also know in your body or in your mind that if you do text them back, you're going to get pulled right back into this toxic cycle. So in that moment, even when you know what's right for you, it feels so hard to actually do the thing because your nervous system is so wired for this unhealthy stuff, and doing the thing that you know is right for you feels actually really uncomfortable. But that is the moment that everything can change by just making a new choice. And that means doing the opposite of whatever you normally would do. So per our example, if you would normally text the ex back and get pulled back in, do not text them back. Do the opposite thing. Do the thing that deep down you really know is best for you, even though it feels really uncomfortable and really hard. And then that needs to be paired with soothing yourself, soothing your nervous system through that discomfort. You can go for a walk or punch a pillow or give yourself a hug, call a friend that you know is supportive and will understand, or a therapist or a mentor, or just do whatever you need to do to soothe yourself in that moment and remind yourself what a powerful freaking choice that you're making out of pure self-love. And that's really how you break these painful patterns. And know that over time, the more that you do this, the more natural it'll become and the less uncomfortable it'll be. Okay, so the second part of all of this is rewiring your subconscious mind. So remember how I said that all that childhood stuff made you develop certain beliefs and programs about what love is? Yeah, those beliefs are stored deep in your subconscious mind. And usually we try to talk ourselves out of it, and then we get really frustrated because nothing really changes. And although talk therapy and talking about things can be excellent support, it's usually not enough to actually do that deep reprogramming work. So many sensitive women find themselves talking things over and over and over and seeing nothing change. And that's because when you are talking or thinking about it, you are dealing with your conscious mind. But really, over 90% of all of your beliefs, habits, behaviors come from your subconscious mind and the programs stored there. So if you want to rewire those things deeply at the root, it takes specific tools that communicate and rewire your subconscious mind. And there are different ways you can do this, but the most powerful, fast, and effective way that I have found and that I really love is hypnotherapy. That is why I really love it so much, because it's helped me to deeply rewire my own subconscious mind out of these painful patterns. So in my higher self hypnosis sessions, I help clients heal and release and rewire all of these patterns and beliefs so that instead of believing love equals self-sacrifice, you can totally erase that and rewire a new positive belief. And I just love making clients also their own hypnosis audio that they can listen to support this subconscious reprogramming and all of the things with supporting others in doing this work. And it's so powerful. So if you want to get a feel for my voice and my style of hypnotherapy, which also includes a lot of spiritual stuff like the name Higher Self Hypnosis, check out my free 20-minute guided session that I'll link below. And then I also am going to start doing more videos on my YouTube that aren't going to be quite as deep, but they're still powerful in their own way. When these patterns shift in your nervous system and your subconscious mind, it changes so much. I once felt so doomed in love, and one toxic relationship ends and I'm just back in another, and oh my God. But through this exact work that I'm talking about, reprogramming, it really has helped so much. And I've now been in a really healthy relationship for a couple of years. And I know that it's possible for you too.